Hey everyone, Coach Keith Hebner here. Let's say you or someone you're coaching is in this position, all right? Listen to find out if this is yourself or if this is the person you're coaching. You have somewhere around 20 or 30 amateur fights, maybe 40 amateur fights. Maybe you have only 10 amateur fights, maybe you have 5, maybe you have 0, all right? And you're contemplating going pro, or they're contemplating going pro, all right? And you maybe made the decision that you're going to go pro, okay? And it could be a bad decision. It's definitely a bad decision if you're at the 0 or even, I would argue, the 10-5 fight range. Need somewhere in the 20 to 30 or above, in my opinion, in order to know if you're ready or not to go pro. That's my opinion, though. All right? No judge. Now, that first pro fight, it's very important. We know pros, how is it different than the amateurs? Besides, obviously, your first pro fight's 4 rounds instead of 3 rounds. It's different because you can't go back. You can't change it. It's not like the old days with guys like, let's say, for instance, Henry Armstrong, who was a great champion, all-time great in the history of boxing. He actually went pro under the name, I believe, Henry Melody, lost a bunch of pro fights and went back to amateurs, adopted his coach's last name, Armstrong, fought as an amateur, and then re-debuted as a pro, and then went on to have a good career. And obviously, this is back in the time of the 30s where it didn't matter if you didn't have that O at the end of your record. You could have a 1, a 2, a 3, and as long as you were putting in the performances, as long as you were beating some people, it was good. You were fine. Different time. Now we're in the TV era where they don't want to put somebody up there. They don't want to put the financial investment that it takes to get someone going, which is upwards of $100,000 in order to get you to just a title shot, much less beyond that. And we're talking a small title shot, to be clear. It's not like that. It's not like how it was. It's different now. They don't want to take that risk. And from a marketing standpoint, you don't have that O at the end, and no one knows who you are. People are going to assume, who the hell is this guy? This guy's already lost, or maybe lost even a couple times. Anyway, different subject matter. Now, you're going to have that first pro fight. You want to make sure it is a win. Why? Because you're going into another sport in a sense. Amateur boxing is a different scoring system than pros. It is different. There's a lot of similarities. They're more similar than they are different, yes, but it is different, all right? And in the pro game, again, you can't go back. You can't change things. Once you make a mistake, the mistake is done. In amateurs, you can make a mistake. I know many guys who have made the mistake 10 times. Doesn't matter when you go pro, all right? That first fight, this is what you need to watch out for. If you're getting paid your first pro fight and you're not signed to a big promotional company, that's a mistake. Why is that a mistake? Or rather, let me add one more caveat to that. And or you're not being funded by someone with a lot of money, all right? That they are paying you for that first pro fight. If you're getting a phone call and you're a pro debut, you're getting a phone call from a promoter, from a manager of somebody else, from a matchmaker, and they're saying to either you, the fighter, or you, the coach of the fighter, or to both of you guys, hey, we got a fight for you, and you need to come to where we are, wherever that is, Florida, wherever it is, California, and we'll pay you X amount. Let's say it's $800. Let's say it's $1,000. Let's say it's $1,200. Let's say it's $2,000. Let's say it's $5,000. I've seen those offers. $5,000 for 4 rounds. Sounds pretty sweet if you think about it just like that. 4 rounds, $5,000. Woo! Let's take it. Against who? A guy that's 1-0. Well, I'm 0-0 as a pro, so a 1-0 guy, you think about like when you were a novice boxer, man, that's a fine match. If I got a guy that's a debut as an amateur, and he's going to fight a guy that's got 1 amateur fight, good to roll. That's a good match. Nothing wrong with that. In this situation, though, it's totally different. You're getting set up. And the best case scenario that you can get out of this, because I've seen it play out time and time again, because again, when I was new to this, I believed, oh man, you might have a chance. You could get lucky. Let me tell you, maybe one time out of 100, maybe one time out of 200, gets a little bit more likely at that point. But it's not going to work out for you. You don't want to risk any type of possible success you could have with your pro career for this if you have any ideations of going somewhere with it. Now, if you just want to be an opponent and you want to pick up an $800, $1,000, $1,200, $2,000 paycheck, which is not going to last very long, even those little paychecks, because you're just going to be Johnny Paycheck and boom, 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 and you're not going to get anywhere beyond that $2,000, $3,000 range, and that's not going to be a good way to make a living, all right? Because you're going to be fighting 6-round fights for that amount of money. Then you're going to be fighting 8-round fights for that amount of money, and then eventually you're going to have so many losses on your record, it's no good anymore, all right? No one wants it anymore, and a lot of commissions won't even allow you to fight. All right, so that's the situation with that. If you're getting offered to get paid your first pro fight by anyone other than your manager, right, who's taking care of you and is making that investment in you, or someone with money that is, again, invested in you, if you're getting paid for it, you need to not take it. Don't take it. I don't care how much you think it's a good deal. And this is something really specifically for people to watch out for that are legitimate amateurs that actually do have a promising pro career. All right? Yeah, if you got like no pro fights no amateur fights or very little amateur fights, and you just want to make some money, I mean, it's a free country, you can do that, whatever. But if you have maybe 30 amateur fights, 40 amateur fights, and you actually have some ability, some promise, okay? Don't take this fight, because no matter how good you do, the chips are stacked up against you. The best case scenario is you walk away with maybe a draw, maybe. But that's even uncommon. It's going to be a split decision. You're going to lose a split decision. And then also, too, think about it. Let's say you're at 30 or so pro fights. They picked you. Why? Because let's say 30, 40 amateur fights. They picked you because they think that they can walk through you, or they think that they can at least ink you out, all right? Because if you look deep into the person that they're getting a match for, don't believe what they told you. Don't believe that they told you, oh, this guy doesn't have a chin, right? The guy that they're trying to match you for, right? I've seen that play out so many times, and I fell for that the first couple of years I was in pro boxing, where you get the phone call from a matchmaker or promoter, and they say, oh, they're not connected with the guy, right? But regardless, they're still getting the guy on the show, let's say, to just because they know it's going to help the promotion. So yeah, they're not maybe technically contractually connected to the person that they're looking for you to fight, but they kind of are, because that person's the hometown person, that person's the person that sells tickets. So they're on the phone with you trying to make that fight happen, all right? So they can sell tickets. And they're saying, yeah, this guy doesn't have a chin. Yeah, this guy sucks. He's just a powder puff hitter. He's nothing. He's scared. He's scared, man. Sure, he's a good boxer, but as soon as you hit him hard, man, he's going to fall apart. They'll tell you all these different things that if you don't watch out for, it's going to play on your ego. And you're going to be like, oh, yeah, we are good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You just believe all of that. They'll sell you on it. They'll really sell you on it. And with the goal of you walking away from that fight with some money in your pocket, very little money in your pocket, really, and maybe a concussion, maybe. But at the very least, you're probably going to have an L, all right? And now you're 0-1. Never won. And now where are you going to go from there? All right? Next fight, go out there again in the same circumstances, and I see this happens to guys, right? And then eventually, when they're so far down that rabbit hole for a little bit, then they're maybe they get a gift, right? Some promoter gives them a fight so they can at least have something on their record. And so maybe they're 0-2 and then they get a win because they put up against someone who's even less experienced than them, that is their shoo-in to beat. And then you end up with this record where you're this ultra low level journeyman. You're not even like a gatekeeper type status. You're just so freaking far low that you're always in that out of town corner, and it's not a place that I want you to be as a fighter. And again, specifically if you got some talent, you got some experience in the amateurs, and you think you can make a go of this, or if you're a coach of someone like this, do not do this. Suck it up, save up, whatever it is. Find someone with some money to invest, whatever it is, whatever you need to do. Even create some type of agreement with a local promoter with ticket sales and a percentage off of that. There's a few different ways to do this that I've done it. But this is what you have to do. Because if you don't, I've also done it the wrong way before too, where you take these fights because on paper they make sense, and maybe you have a chance to win, and you end up losing a lot of split decisions that maybe you could have won, but you're in someone else's hometown, and the card's stacked against you, all right? Unless you knock that person out, which you can't depend on a knockout, all right? At least not the majority of the time. That can't be your go-to. You can't be going into your fight saying, yeah, I'm going to get robbed, or I'm not going to win a decision, or it's going to be close enough that you could argue I didn't win it, and so therefore I'm going to go in there because I know I'm going to knock him out. Every person that I talk to that goes into a fight with that strategy doesn't come out the victor, all right? So that's a little tip for you. Some things to think about, whether you're just starting out as an amateur, or you have quite a few amateur fights and you're considering going pro, or maybe you're right on that precipice of going pro. Maybe you have the contract that just came in an email and you're looking at it. and that $2,000 is looking pretty appealing, and that all expense paid trip to somewhere that you haven't been before. You think it's cool. You think that's your ticket to big time. It's not. Trust me, it's not. And why can I say that? Because I've seen it happen too many damn times. All right, this is Coach Keith Kapner. If you enjoyed this type of material, make sure you subscribe to the channel and watch out for the next video.